Okay, folks. So any of you out there that are investing in this emergency food supply that's coming in these buckets, um, are any of you bothering to ask really what that food is and where it's coming from? I mean, I realize I see the reviews and I read the reviews and everybody just absolutely loves this food. It just tastes so great. It's awesome, right? You're not asking yourself why it tastes so freaking great. You're not asking yourself where Patriot Supply is getting their food sourced from? Because I've called them several different times now and I have gotten the same dead end. They just tell me a very vague statement about how, oh, it's sourced from local farms around the U.S. It's all sourced from local farms, made in the USA, right? Made in the USA food. I find that very curious because the wording is curious to me. Made in the USA. Not grown in the USA, just made in the USA. I mean, they're talking about how we have bad crops, fertilizer shortages, and our food supply can't take much more. But my Patriot Supply is able to send people off buckets and buckets and buckets and pounds of food. Where do you think they're getting it from, folks? Seriously, think about it. You try calling them. Try calling them and asking them where they source their food from. They're just going to tell you some vague statement about how it's sourced from local farms. But what local farms are you sourcing it from? Because the information that I'm reading and the narrative that I'm seeing is that all of our farmland is all just gone to hell. So where is my Patriot Supply getting their food supply exactly, folks? Think about it. And I'm just going to put this out there. Do a little Google search on their production facility and where the production facility is located, folks. And then keep in mind, okay? Keep in mind that there have been these brilliant scientists around the world, and including here in our own country, thanks to NASA and their brilliant engineers, where they have been for the last couple of decades attempting to convert waste, which includes our shit, okay, our waste, our poo-poo, our doo-doos, into palatable food, converting it from waste into food, into fuel, okay? And now there are some Japanese bioengineers and scientists that managed over a decade ago to create this little system where they can pump their little waste into their system, and their little system adds pre-measured amounts of compounds, fibrous materials, and additives and materials. And after they press a few buttons and insert the programming and let it just go, out from the other end comes this piece of meat that they call a piece of meat, but really it's just a piece of shit that has been made to look and taste like a piece of meat. Okay? This is stuff that they've been researching for several decades, NASA in particular, and the space programs, because they wanted to be able to figure out a way how to recycle all of their waste and everything when they're up there doing their little space missions and when they're up there in the spaces, right? That was the premise, okay? But I find it very curious that the production facility and the packaging facility for my Patriot Supply, one of their locations just happens to be very near a place in a business called the Honey Bucket Porta Potty. So, are you really sure what you're getting in those buckets of emergency food is really food, folks, and not repurposed waste? Or here's another option. Here's another thing that it could be. What if it's nothing but all of the government's surplus and all of the government supply and all the government product that was down in their bunkers for the last 30 to 40 years that they just brought up out of their bunkers and have repackaged and are now selling it to the civilians? Meanwhile, they're taking control of all of these other food facilities and they're making sure that their stocks get refreshed with fresh food. So all of our fresh food and all of our farm food is actually getting packaged